If you oppose the death penalty, or feel there's too much violence in the media, but you're still a hypocrite who eats meat like I do, remember, meat is a result of the execution and dismemberment of millions of animals daily. We may or may not have a right to eat meat, but do we have a right to enslave and torture and murder an entire species for that purpose? Doesn't that sound like some sort of crazy sci-fi horror movie? Or is it just a documentary about the many horrible things humans do and then rationalize? We have desires that go beyond our intellect, urges that transcend logic. From eating meat to murder is not that big a jump. Of course, vegetables are the result of torture also. First, we have no idea about the true nature of plants. They are intelligent and complex, and we've hardly scratched the surface of that. Plants know they're plants, so they act like plants. Humans once knew what being human was. They knew how to be human, like plants and trees and everything else. But we lost that when we became aware of our own mortality. Now we don't even know what we are, and we act in crazy ways trying to figure it out. But also, we wouldn't even have vegetables if not for the humans who are forced into migrant labor in substandard conditions to harvest those vegetables. So to eat a piece of broccoli, you're not only abusing a plant, ripping it out of the ground, but abusing and exploiting humans at the same time, the workers that harvest those plants. Isn't harvesting just another word for murder too? A lot of suffering and death goes into that stalk of broccoli we enjoy. So if you look at it a little more deeply, it's hard to feel self-righteous about being a vegetarian. But ultimately, it's not about being a carnivore or an omnivore or a pescatarian or a vegetarian or even being a vegan that's unethical. It's eating itself. Eating is unethical. To eat is to harm something. So what to do? I remember seeing this guy who called himself a breatharian. He lived on air, but they caught him sneaking Snickers backstage at his seminars, so he was obviously full of shit, or maybe he was full of air. And we know there are millions of starving people, starving children in the world. So that's another kind of suffering. So what's the answer? Are we caught in a weird point in evolution where our brains and digestive systems haven't figured out yet how to adapt to this ethical dilemma? We in this country have so much, too much food, it's falling off the shelves, it's filling up dumpsters, and yet other countries don't have nearly enough. There's no balance. Maybe nature will resolve it for us, or we'll resolve it for ourselves, since man is part of nature. If we ruin the land, the water, the air, we won't be able to raise and slaughter livestock or grow food or grain or catch fish. In Genesis, God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." It's all kind of creepy. First of all, who's us? I thought there was only one God. But okay, that's another video. But God did say, God gave man dominion over all those things, which justifies and rationalizes the slaughter and death of other living things so that we may live. But I don't think God thought this out. Would God still think that today? If there is a God, why doesn't he, him, she, they come up with a food product that would solve this problem? What we need is manna to fall from heaven again. Then we can start a fast food franchise. McDonald's, or Burger King of Kings. What about GMOs? Genetically modified organisms. I guess we're all genetically modified organisms. So do we start eating each other? Is eating human flesh the way of the future? Is cannibalism the only ethical way to eat? Whoever thought that Soylent Green is people would be a positive? Maybe instead of McDonald's or Wendy's, I'll be meeting you at Jeffrey Dahmer's Human Burgers. Man, Big Mac and Sloppy Joe never sounded so wrong. Or so good.